Did you poop during labor? So I was so scared that I was gonna poop during labor. I literally told my boyfriend, I was like, if I poop, please don't tell me because I will be so embarrassed.
Was your pregnancy planned? Absolutely not.
It was, actually.
Kinda. Did we sit down and say, hey, you wanna have a baby? Because I wanna have a baby. No. Were we having sex unprotected? Yeah.
Even though I took a plan B literally like 5 hours later, I still got pregnant and I asked the doctor, I was like, how? She was like, you were ovulating, and basically the plan B can't stop ovulation, it can only prevent ovulation.
We were using condoms every time, and I don't know what happened.
Anytime anyone says like, just get on birth control, it's like, I was on birth control, and it still happened, so.
Were you and your partner still sexually active while you were pregnant? Yes.
No, because I was single.
I personally did not notice a difference except for when I was like really big because you have to navigate that, but it was good.
It's so weird because naturally I'm not a like over-sexual person, and during pregnancy I was very sexual like all the time, and definitely after pregnancy it vanished.
I don't know if I'll ever be pregnant again to find out if it could be good, but it was not. It was not pleasant.
What was labor like? I cried a lot. I cried for like 20 hours straight.
My labor was unexpectedly long. It was 48 hours.
They had to induce me because my water was leaking, but I wasn't getting contractions. And then when I actually pushed, that wasn't bad at all because he came out in like 10 minutes. The bad part was after, like having to pee and use the bathroom and stuff. I tore inside when I had him, so they had to stitch up inside, and it hurt for literally a month.
As a Black woman, it's scary to go into the hospital. My biggest fear was that I wasn't gonna have a natural birth or a vaginal birth. I didn't. A C-section is major surgery. Your body is being cut open. They're moving your organs around. In this society, the average woman doesn't even have the ability to sit at home for 6 weeks and be like, all right, I'm gonna heal from major surgery.
I did have an emergency C-section. I barely remember it. I felt like I was so hopped up on drugs. Yes, you might be kind of numb, but I definitely felt like I could feel my doctor's hands so deep inside of my stomach cavity. Then they pulled her out and she cried, and it is true what they say, like, it's one of the most beautiful sounds ever. After that, not so much. The first cry, the best.
Did you poop during labor? So I was so scared that I was gonna poop during labor. I literally told my boyfriend, I was like, if I poop, please don't tell me because I will be so embarrassed. I luckily didn't.
I don't know. They didn't tell me.
No, I did not poop during labor because I didn't have to push. What happens is when you have a C-section, they have to make sure that you actually, use the restroom before you leave the hospital, because the whole process of pulling a baby out via C-section is kind of hard on your bowels.
Did you have any difficulties during your pregnancy? I had high blood pressure. Usually a woman's blood pressure goes down when she's pregnant. Mine stayed at what they call a high normal up until I was induced at 37 weeks pregnant.
I fainted a couple of times just due to like low blood sugar. I've never fainted before in my life.
During my pregnancy, I didn't really have any difficulties. It was mostly during childbirth that I did. So my son's heart rate had dropped like really bad while he was in my belly. They had to use like this little suction thing to help me push him out because he wasn't coming out fast enough. But my pregnancy actually was super like a breeze. I loved like having the belly and everything. It was so cute.
By month 2, I'm like, okay, I'm into this, and miscarried at 15 and a half weeks. It was definitely like a very like traumatic experience. I was at home and started cramping really bad, and I was like, well, something's definitely wrong, and then started spotting, and then just like really, really bloody. And I got myself into the shower because I couldn't walk, and I think it was just more sad than anything. The physical side of it, it was really painful. Like, it literally felt like somebody was just like stabbing my uterus like over and over, and like just the whole area. I called 911 and I was like, I think something's wrong. I think I might be miscarrying. And they're like, do you need us to send somebody? No, like don't send anybody. Like I can't afford an ambulance drive right now. I was like, don't send anybody. And she's like, okay, you just need me on the phone with you? And I was like, yeah. She was a really nice little Southern lady. she was super sweet and just kind of talked me through and like, you're gonna be okay, like everything's fine, like, and she told me, she's like, okay, it's gonna be really weird, but like go to your gynecologist. And so I called and like made an emergency appointment for the next day and like had to go in and get the rest of everything like scraped out. And I just laid there the whole time, like embarrassed and sad, and like I just really wanted my mom. I think leaving the relationship I was in at the time that I did was probably the healthiest thing I've done for myself in a really long time. And I have so much love for him. Like, very much still involved in his life. We're still really close friends. I think knowing that like we both kind of get to like move on and like live our best lives in like the healthiest manner has been what's like getting me through it.
Did you consider having an abortion? Would you have gotten an abortion? When I told my mom, she was like, okay, let me schedule your abortion appointment. And she did. The morning of the abortion appointment, I told her like, I can't do it.
We did think about it. We thought about all of our options.
No, and that's because I was 26. Girl, you did this, be a woman and have the baby.
I made a decision to have an abortion before I was even pregnant. I texted him, I was like, hey, we need to talk. I'm pregnant and I'm getting an abortion. And he started crying, which is totally fine, but I remember being like, hey, like, I'm the pregnant one here, like, I wanna cry, can you comfort me?
It's different for different people. Like, I didn't feel ashamed of the decision, but it's an emotional thing nonetheless. The worst part about it were the just insane amount of adults that were outside of the clinic screaming in my face, telling me to go to hell and that I was a murderer when I was 17 years old. It really like stands out as like a huge part of the experience, which is crazy.
I went to Planned Parenthood in the morning. I remember they gave me the pill in like a little cup. I'm like, hey, are you sure? Like once you take this, you can't go, like you cannot go back. And I was like, yeah, I'm sure. And then I had to go get a prescription for the second pills because it's 2 pills for medication abortion. I think it was like 8 hours. Nausea and then vomiting, cramping, bleeding, diarrhea, sometimes all happening at the same time. I do want to be a mom and I had an abortion because I want to be a good mom when I'm ready.
I considered it, I did it, and I do not regret it at all.
This is gonna be a hard one. How was your perception of your body image and how has it changed?
I wanted to look pregnant. I didn't want to be a fat person who was pregnant and nobody knew.
It's definitely hard to look at my stomach and see like the loose skin and the weird weight gain that happens in different areas that's super hard to get rid of.
Throughout my adolescence, I struggled with an eating disorder. I was hospitalized for it multiple times. It was just really hard to watch my body create something so beautiful and so magical to me and to shame myself for it and to feel out of control. And because that's what an eating disorder is all about, is managing and controlling everything in your life. After my pregnancy, it was even more challenging. It was my job and my duty to make sure that my daughter was fed from me and to not let like the physical self get in the way of making sure that I'm taking care and nurturing my child.
Do you regret getting pregnant? Not even a little bit.
I never regretted it. Like even when I found out, it wasn't something where I was like, this is a mistake.
I regret the partner. I don't regret the pregnancy.
I feel like that's like weird because I would like expect to be like, did you regret getting an abortion? But do you regret getting pregnant? I feel like no one's ever asked me that question before.
I love my son. Like, I think it's the best thing that ever happened to me. And I think that being a young mom was for me. I honestly wouldn't have it any other way. I love it.
I had all those emotions, and then I had all the opposite emotions where I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? None of my friends are gonna like me anymore because they're all like super like Jesus-y, which sounds terrible because I am too. But then as soon as I told them that I miscarried, they're like, why didn't you tell us that you were pregnant? We would have done baby showers and all the clothes and all the things.
I feel like maybe, yeah, back in the day, I would have been like, oh my God, absolutely. Like, I wish I would have never fucking got pregnant. But now, like, I'm very aware that I am kind of put here to be able to better empathize and be compassionate towards people. And I think I went through it for a reason, and I don't regret it.
What is something you wish you had learned sooner in sex ed?
I definitely wish I learned just a lot more about like birth control options and how easy it is to get pregnant.
I wish that I had learned about sex, period, sooner. And I wish that it was more of an everyday conversation, like we talk about food, instead of oh my God, sex, like it's like, you know, like it's just such a bad thing.
What I learned from my teenage years is that regardless of what my mom said, I was gonna find a way to do what I wanted to do anyway. And it was just behind her back, which was just making it more dangerous for me. My goal is for my kids to be able to trust me when it comes to things like that. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do that yet. I just know that I want my household to be very open conversation-wise.